On
Yes.
on the shared screen you have, I think you can hide the roles on the side if you want to, or you can at least shrink that down a little bit. Go to the chat, and then if you hit F11, it'll maximize the screen.
F11, and then I can.
And that's good. That's good. Just to minimize a little bit.
Yeah, and I can blow this up for you guys.
Perfect.
In our previous episode, the intrepid party, unofficially known as the Idle Eight, a group of people met at the tavern of Northlook in the largest of the 10 towns, Bryn Shander. While they were there enjoying an evening, they heard several things. Some of them were actually contacted by people asking them to perhaps look into some things for them. Croesus, being a person that apparently was given the idea from someone that Hiln Trollbane might be looking out for him. As a result, he found Varuuk staring at a job board and being a lot of incomprehensible symbols scrawled on a board. Croesus said, "Hey, looking for work?" Varuuk said, "Yep." And so they went to the Northlook. Other members of the party had been there for their own reasons. As fate or luck, or maybe the divine providence, maybe the, right? You okay, Owen?
Bless you.
Sorry, that was me blowing my nose.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mute myself.
Playing bassoon?
Yeah, I was
Right,
like, was Owen trying to roleplay a character noise there?
Right. So be it the machinae, be it fate, be it luck, be it the machinations of a capricious god throwing you together and removing all pretense of free will. Who knows? But you are all brought together. And the next day set out looking after a set of dwarves that hired you to look into a missing sled. And a member of their party whom was attacked and they believed to be killed by a Yeti. As was discussed through a pretty bizarre chain of events, the goblins were appeased peacefully, turned over the sled, said, "Yeah, we don't want this anyway." As it turns out, the weather and cold and darkness has had an effect even on races you wouldn't think about. Goblins, non-humans, what you would call the monstrous races, all are victims of this never-ending rhyme of darkness and frost. You return with the ingots, you are given your rewards, and you retire in and around the Northlook. You awaken the next morning feeling stronger, more powerful, as the knowledge and experience courses through your veins. Unfortunately, you wake up to the howl of winds and driving snow as a blizzard has blown in. And you are fairly certain this blizzard is going to last for several hours. So you have some time. You meet once again in the warmth and inviting environs of the tavern area in the North Look. So the day, such as it is yours. What shall you do?
So looking out, the window or the door, I walk back over to the party and say, I don't know how long this is going to last. So hard to tell, but I know we want to get to Targos. But with the weather like this, I yield to Brajaga to determine if we should leave now or not. But only in general a 2-hour trip, so I think we could wait a while to see if the weather cleared. And I once again walk over to the fire to warm my always cold hand.
Can confirm.
Well, Bradyaga and Iggy both, and Iggy has sort of made an appearance, and she and Bradyaga share some friendly camaraderie. Absolutely not a plan for extortion.
Not at all.
They have a little meeting, and Iggy, you are quite confident that this blizzard is going to last for several hours. It appears to be quite severe, and that traveling, at least for the day, probably not a great idea. I mean, you can travel in a blizzard. You've done it before. You just are keenly and painfully aware that if the normal environment of Icewind Dale is a frozen hellscape where any mistake might leave you dead, a blizzard makes the chances of someone not making it much, much higher. There's no visibility. The wind chill forces the temperatures into something approaching negative 100 degrees. It is unbelievably cold.
I could travel in the blizzard. I just would prefer not to.
Right. So you probably decide that now would be a good time as a party, as a group, to maybe, one, figure out what you would like to be referred to as a group, because otherwise I'm just going to keep calling you the Idle Eight, and that does not strike fear in the hearts of evildoers.
I like the Idle Eight till we do something that warrants a name.
Yeah, even Crit Roll didn't have their names like the first fucking episode or second
Yeah.
episode.
Idle Eight is actually kind of brilliant, but we'll see if we get better.
Right. Anyway, take your time. Maybe adjust yourself to your newfound abilities, and take a moment and understand that this blizzard is going to last for at least 5 hours. And that was determined by the dice gods, or Arl, or fate.
So we have at least until. So if Iggy and Rajaga, what are you waving at? Oh, you're waving to a baby. There's a baby. Screw the rest of you guys.
How old is he now? How old is he?
Hello, baby. No,
1
happy
year
birthday,
old.
little birdie, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
is,
my
is today
gosh.
the 1 year day, Chris? Is this the
No.
no? Okay.
It's very close.
Yeah, we're getting close though.
Hmm.
Hey, baby.
We're already.
Very ginger.
Yeah.
Is it just your lighting in your camera, or is kind of a redheaded? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Look at that smile.
Hello.
Can't tell, but I dyed my hair.
Oh.
Purple right here.
Ooh,
That's what
I
the
like it.
dyed his hair ginger.
Yeah.
Chris has been dyeing the baby's hair all
All the time.
pandemic.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun. It's monotonous and just breaks it up a little bit. People are like, wow. Oh. Does he smell like sunshine? He looks like he smells like sunshine.
Oh, baby smell. I love a baby smell.
Oh, this baby's like, I don't smell.
I don't know.
You do. You create pheromones so that big people don't want to hurt you. They want to help you.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It comes through the Zoom, man. All right. So, okay, well, if Bradyaga and Iggy are in Iggy, it's okay to call you that, or do you prefer your real name, Igidnai?
Oh, no, you don't worry about any of that. It's a little complicated. You may call me Iggy.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I think I'm going to go sit by the fire, be warm, and study a bit. But if the pack is packed, it would take me 5 minutes to get my gear on. If we determine it's time to go, I'll be ready at any time.
Oh, you go ahead and get comfortable. This storm won't be gone for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours.
You should go to work for the Congressional Budget Office. They like those kind of that kind of wiggle room on an estimate. I'd have to ask, is there a cutoff time that we wouldn't depart? I mean, it's not like it gets light here, but is there, on a normal 2-hour trip, is there a time where you would say, we're just cutting our losses and we'll head out tomorrow?
Would there be a time like that?
You know that on foot, if you follow the trails, it will take you approximately 2 hours walking to get to Targos from Bryn Shander.
Mhm.
So what passes for day is kind of less dim light.
Right, I was gonna say, normally the rule of thumb is just don't travel at night, but night is all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, during the day, it's, around negative 45, 48. At night, it doesn't really drop a whole lot, but it does get colder, like
Mhm.
by say 5 or 6 degrees.
Hmm.
It never really warms up.
I think I'm going to take this time to do a little study and maybe to reapply some of the waterproofing agents to my clothes. And so for the next, unless something happens, I'm going to be either reading my book or pulling out the kind of, waxy / oily, pasty stuff that you put on your boots and whatnot to keep the moisture from seeping in and around the shoulders of the cloak and stuff like that. I'll be right back.
Iggy goes and takes off her big, fluffy Eskimo parka and shakes it out and hangs it on the coat hook by the door and then just sits in front of the fire because she's a cold-blooded reptile and needs heat to regulate her body temperature.
Owen's just gonna fall asleep out in the cold.
I'm gonna make some magical items out of non-magical items. I'm going to infuse magical items. That's what I'm gonna infuse. All the while, I will be talking out loud about strategy and what I'm doing and the best way to do things, whether people are listening or not. I'm going to be speaking out loud, and then after I do the infusions, I will go back to working on my goblin hierarchy plan on how they could create a better workspace and a mining camp that would work.
Unable to kind of ignore your running dialogue of what you're working on, at some point when you pause to take a breath, I actually want to ask if you thought you would be able to help me create some of the inks I need in my work. The inks I use for writing spells into my spell book are somewhat hard to come by in the best of scenarios, and this is definitely not one of the best of scenarios. Do you think that is something that you might be able to help me craft a fine ink with maybe some of the stuff we find up here and whatnot?
I don't see why not. It may take a little bit of studying. Do you have a book?
I actually do have a book on magic that is a lot of theory. I will look and see if I know there's part of that is on the construction of inks and the fabrication of the inks, and I will pull those notes out for you to examine later. Thank you.
Absolutely, I would love to learn. And you definitely, from if if you like go on and I'm still rambling, I'm gonna start rambling about all the things I can do. Like if I can make those inks and learn what the magic you do, maybe I could write it on different pieces of metal and imbue it and use the magnetism of the metal to do it. Like, and just.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm sitting here listening to you, rubbing some kind of probably whale fat and wax into my boots to keep them dry.
I was like, and this, and this, and this, and.
So what do the patrons look like in our area right
A
now?
Feywild, Cthulhu, and I think this. No.
So you don't see any strangers or any new people. It's actually much less people than you were there, say, the last time you spent time in the common room, simply because people aren't moving around. But there are a mix of humans, a couple of dwarves, and everyone looks well, they look miserable because it's cold and it's dark. And after about midday, Dallin, I need you to make a perception check with advantage.
I was gonna say, I'm probably taking a corner or a stage area, if there's a stage area, and just kind of setting up a little bit of a chair. You guys notice that I've fixed myself up a little bit. I look kind of prettier than I have out in the wild, out when we've been adventuring, and definitely more feminine than I had in a little while. And I'm picking up my lute and playing it, and mostly happy songs, some dwarven songs that I've picked up that are kind of stamping type music and all.
You're trying
of
to
that.
raise the general mood of the room.
I am.
Right. Give me a performance check on that. Dallin, you notice about midday that Velin walks in. She like slams the door open. Like the snow blows in around her. She looks like she kind of looks like she's doing a little Frosty the Snowman cosplay. She is covered with snow and chunks of broken ice, and she kind of quickly gets inside, closes the door. A few people kind of like, close the door. You're letting all the heat out. And she just kind of looks at them very derisively and immediately walks towards the bar. And Elsa, was her name Elsa? It should be Elsa.
Edna.
Yeah, no, it should be Elsa, but it's Edna.
We can change.
So Edna does, take her order, and she kind of makes her order at the bar. She goes and sits back in the same booth where she was, and her owl that is, normally very, trying to think of the right word, calm and collected and very much almost like an ornament. You can tell the owl is agitated.
Can you give me, just so we get it right and we don't do it wrong forever, how is this woman's name spelled?
Vellynne, Velin.
Thank you.
Or at least that's how I'm saying it.
I'm good with that.
It's not Villain.
It's not villain, just straight up villain.
Right.
We had it in my my long.
It's
high
spelled BBEG.
Yeah, in my high school long-term D&D game, our nemesis was a female Gormini, which was a made-up bad guy race, but her name was Evelyn, but it was spelled Evil Lynn.
Kind of like in Acquisitions Incorporated, the paladin of Lathander is Evelyn, but it's pronounced Evelyn.
Yeah.
Yep. I had in Neverwinter Nights, the game Neverwinter Nights, you had a DM module.
Mhm.
I made a ridiculously high level thief named Shiza taking your stuff. Her name was just Shiza, Sheeza. Shiza. And what does Shiza do? Shiza taking your shit. That's what she's doing. And the party they kept wondering why their stuff was just no longer in their inventory. And it was because Shiza taking your stuff.
man. Oh.
So anyway, Valin looks cold and perturbed. Her familiar, if that is what that owl is. Could be like a pirate's parrot. You don't know.
Yeah.
Dolph, you keep something keeps itching right around the chest area. You just kind of feel a little itchy, like something's agitated.
When she walked in, I felt that.
Not at the same time,
Mhm.
but it may just be that her walking in kind of brought your attention. I wouldn't say there's a cause and effect. She
Got it.
didn't cause it, but you've noticed it kind of all day, and it's gotten. I mean, it's to be clear, her arrival did not cause it.
Tax.
Yes. Yeah.
I know you dabble in the mechanical aspects of things, but do you also dabble in the more organic kinds of magic? Like potions or salves?
Oh, I can. One of the people in our colony was a great potionist. I'm more of a mechanic, but I have learned.
Do you have anything for itching? Like for things from mosquito bites or something, a hydrocortisone cream?
I don't, but I will look in my books to see if I can make it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, snow and ice has a numbing effect. So if you were to put some, I know that it is counterintuitive as we are trying to stay warm here, but if you were to put some of it on the area that is itching, it might numb it if it is very bothersome.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and think putting snow on this would not help in this particular case. But I'll keep that in mind for other cases.
Okay, I will look into it. I have it in one of my books, and you'll see me like this teeny tiny backpack, like the backpacks of the 90s that were like all the rage. I'll like take that out, and you see me like Hermione it, just put my hand into it and like look around, and then I'm like pulling out books and stuff.
I actually lean forward and go, Miss Tax, is that something that you can do that maybe somebody could purchase off of you? Because I'm very interested in being able to carry my gear in a less obtrusive, and I point to my pack, manner.
Yeah, I should be able to do it tomorrow.
Is it something that I could buy off you and keep?
Yes.
Well, then let us.
My father is going to be so proud of me.
Well, if anything I can do to make that happen.
Can you give me a survival check while this is going on, please?
Yes, sir.
And Joe, when we're done with this conversation, I stand up and walk over to I'm going to say the Lady Valin,
Mm-hmm.
and just say, Lady Valin, I wanted to just give you an update. I have not seen anybody matching the description that you've given me. I'm not sure that you would have expected, but since I saw you here, I thought I'd just give you an opportunity to let me know if anything has changed.
And she kind of looks up at you and like, no insight necessary. You can tell she's agitated.
Yep.
And she's just like, well, I didn't have, what I would call high expectations. Needless to say, you have met my expectations so far. Please continue to look for her.
We'll do. We are planning, if the weather clears, to journey to Targos, so I'll expand my search in that direction. And I back away, just go back.
Right. She's kind of like when you say the word weather, she like physically reacts like the weather is pissing her off. And you're not sure if it's just the weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, So what is that survival check?
Well, if I had advantage, it was an 18. If I
Well,
didn't, it would be a 9.
Luckily, the DC wasn't that high. You are relatively confident. It is approaching the noontime hour, unless someone has an objection, and you feel like the storm's going to blow out within the next 2 to 3 hours. So if you are confident that if you were to leave when in the leeward side of the storm, when it kind of blows out, you would be able to make it to Targos by say 5 or 6 in the evening.
Okay. I did have a question.
Lay it on me.
So I have proficiency with an herbalism kit, but I don't actually have an herbalism kit, but I have the cantrip druidcraft. Could I create herbs to then use my herbalism knowledge to make an anti-itch cream?
Say, that's a fantastic question.
Because it says you can instantly cause like a flower or a bud to bloom or blossom or whatever. I don't know if that means you can make them grow or if there has to be a pre-existing plant.
So in Xanthar's Book of Everything, if you have the herbalism kit, I'm still trying to find the text, but everywhere I go on the internet, it says it's in there, that it gives you like all the things that you can do with kits and toolkits. So like with Tinker's tools, I'm not like, I'm going to tinker. It's just like, I'm going to look at his ink and I'm going to say what it's from, what it's made of, and all of this stuff. And it's I think that's a history or investigation check or something like that. So it tells you what checks and what you can do with all of it.
I see.
I see no reason why you would not have an herbalism kit, an herbalist's kit. And so you can't create something from nothing. You can make the flower, you can make a flower blossom, like if the buds are on the stem. If you have a seed pod, you can make it open and you can make a leaf bud bloom. Basically, they're saying you would be Remiel's best friend. Just flowers everywhere.
Right.
But if you wish, give yourself an herbalist's kit.
Perfect. I will give myself an herbalist's kit. And then just eavesdropping on everyone, Iggy and I just kind of silently starts using the mortar and pestle by the fire. And then she kind of hobbles up to, I don't know who Allie's character is because I was gone last time. I don't know who anyone looks like or anything, but I hobble up to the amorphous blob that is Allie in this world.
So,
And I say, where are you itching, dear? You're itching?
I am. Yes, I am itching. It's kind of on my chest.
This will be good for the itch if you would like.
Thank you. I'm just gonna
press it into your hands like that. It's very good.
He takes it and underneath the shirt, rubs it and then puts it away. Yeah, Sandalphon has split hair, half a bluish blonde, half a goldish blonde, blue eye, gold eye, a beard, and also boobs. So you're a little confused about that. Uses all pronouns, but yeah.
It worked?
Did it work?
It maybe. You're relatively confident if it does, it's a psychotropic effect.
Yeah. I don't know yet. Give me a couple minutes to gel and not think about it and see if it stops being itchy.
She goes back to the little rocking chair by the fire. Oh, we also, I forgot to mention, she gets back up and hobbles back over. We've got probably about 2-3 hours before storm passes. If we leave on leeway side, we could get to Targos probably around 6 o'clock. So it'll still be just as pitch black outside, but
That is very good to know. We could get in early enough to catch evening dinner at whatever inn. I'm assuming you will know somewhere we can go there. I personally have not been to Targos yet, but I've been looking forward to heading that way. And I look over at Broad Yaga, who just every time we talk about it, apparently back stiffens and looks away. I didn't know how much help he's going to be, but yes, we'll make sure we're ready to go as soon as the weather clears. So we make best use of time. Thank you, Iggy.
anytime.
So after about half an hour to an hour of kind of sitting in her booth and looking agitated, and then kind of looking at the door and occasionally glancing in your direction, Dallin. About the time the storm begins to blow out, she finishes her drink, she pays her bill, and she walks out to the door. And you hear the crack of a whip, and you would think it was sled dogs, but maybe if sled dogs died and then were forced into some sort of eternal servitude, pulling sleds in a state of undeath.
Yeah, I know that sound. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it. It's a common sound.
That's my
You've heard sled dogs. You imagine if there were such a thing as dead sled dogs pulling a sled for, say, a necromancer. That's probably what it would sound like.
2 seconds, guys. I would like us to do something before we leave town, but it should be really quickly. 1 second.
But while she's taking care of that phone call, I just make sure to verify that Broad Yaga is checked over our gear before we head out. Snowshoes, all the twines tight, mended up, and whatnot, just so we don't run into a problem on the road. Though I myself am not. Oh, you're muted, Joe. Though I myself am not skilled with survival, I definitely know I know talent when I see it, so I make sure to engage it when I can.
Righty, you are relatively confident that after Broad Yaga and Iggy kind of give things a once over, what passes for a nod and a smile from Broad Yaga and his approval seems to be there. So
if I think if Iggy and or Broad Yaga are leaving, and it would go narratively well with Broad Yaga, Tax would be like, I hope you don't mind, but on the way out, are we going by the smith's place? Because I would really like to meet the smith, and I would really like to buy some of his tools. And if at all possible, I would really like to go see the smith. And I have this note here, and then you can get arrowheads.
Tax, I'm worried that if we delay any time, we will get in too late to Targos. Does this have to be done today?
No.
I will air judgment to the trackers who are going to get us there. Do we have the time to make a stop such as that?
To buy some tools.
It's from the blacksmith, which I have. The dwarves gave me a note, and I should be able to use the shop, and he should perhaps be able to sell me some things.
Well, if they are still open, they might kind of just close down for the blizzard. But you can try your luck if it shouldn't add too much longer to our journey.
Thank you. Joe, where is the blacksmith located in I guess coordination with Northlook and on the way to Targos?
Well, it's not really on the way. Let me bring up Bryn Chander.
I will wait here.
So there's a main road running north where the Northlook is literally by the northernmost gate, and it's on the same road going in south from where you are, and it's close to what passes for the town square, the center of town, where the town hall and
Gotcha.
other
But
things
it's not
are.
too far. It's on this. It's in this quarter. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are here, and the smith is here somewhere. Is it Black Iron Blades? Is that the different?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sharing said map, and you said it's toward the center of town, so it's like
Right,
right up there.
it is indeed
In fact, it's the
Black
worded thing right there.
Blades.
okay.
Yeah, black iron blades.
Okay, and then to get to Targos, hold on. I got stuff. I know how to do stuff. Watch me do stuff, guys. Where am I? Here. Blow this up. So from Bryn Chander to Targos, would it be beneficial for us, instead of using the north gate, to use the southwest gate?
I mean, that seems, I mean, what is hard to see on that map is you have on Bryn Chander, you have on Bryn Chander, he said, Bryn
Got it.
Chander, no, me. And so the road going north is what eventually turns to the west and goes towards Targos. So kind of a northwest sort of situation.
Gotcha. So going south to the southwest gate would not do us any good.
I mean, it won't hurt you. I mean, keep in mind, even though this is the largest city in the 10 towns, it's still not that big.
Okay.
You know, when I say city block, I mean, you're looking like the whole thing is probably like for real 4 city blocks the size.
Okay.
So yeah, you can make it down to Black Iron Blades, and you can make it down there and, you know, do what you need to do. It'll add 15-20 minutes to your trip. I mean, assuming you don't like spend a lot of time there.
Now I am solely going for the to purchase as many Smith tools as I can, because I'm going to be, you know, looking at them and investigating them, because I'm really excited about perhaps working in their shop, and I want to know how the tools work.
Well, the Northlook is definitely on your way back out. So just swing back by on your way back out, hit the head. We'll get dressed up and we can go.
Okay. So Iggy, if you wouldn't mind taking me, there is one thing that it is so nice to meet you. My name is Bella Tax. That everyone's been calling me Tax, and it seems to work out really well for people to call me Tax because it's very short, like me. So I have snowshoes and I have winter gear and I'm perfectly okay. But sometimes it's a little hard for me to move in this weather. So you may need to help me. And I do apologize, but I do pay handsomely.
How big is Iggy? Is Iggy a gnome?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not Iggy, Tax.
Yeah.
Tax is indeed a gnome. I am a wee gnome that is about 1 meter high. With
That is.
I'll also tag along to
glorious.
join you.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I would be happy to help you get to this blacksmith. It will not be that hard of a walk.
Excellent, and thank you. And then I will well, I don't know what you are, but I'm gonna hand you a ball bearing that has light. So you now have a ball that has light. Just in case you don't have dark vision, you now have a little light ball.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
You got it.
She takes it and fastens it to her little staff that she has.
And if you see her, not only has she drawn a sketch of you, but she's definitely drawn a sketch of your staff, and and there's like guesstimates of measurements and like what it's made out of and everything. Super studious. Just like, ooh, yes. So
Awesome. Hang on, I need to check. What's the rule on what CR I can do for wild? Oh, there it is. I found it. Never mind. So if I were to turn into like some type of little Arctic wolf, would Tax be small enough to ride on me?
I have read that you missed it last week. We had an official owlbear rodeo where Aga put me on the baby owlbear and I rode around the bar.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I believe so. I don't think that would be an issue.
We missed that in the recap somehow. We didn't.
Yeah.
But yes, that happened. And I played twangy music while it was going on.
Nice.
She bent them guitar strings to get some twang in it. Or those lute strings. I apologize.
Well, Iggy will go and throw on her little Sherpa coat, kind of shake it out a bit, and then say, well, whenever you are ready, we can go see if they are open.
Absolutely. And you see her take out like all the books around her and everything. She just kind of goes floop, 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 and in her bag. And then it's like, I'm ready.
If you don't mind, I'll tag along too, just to help
Iggy
out.
like spends like at least 10 full seconds looking at like her eyes just going crazy, and she kind of rubs it a little bit and she's like, I really am getting old. And then she opens up the door to the inn and starts shuffling out.
Oh, it is so nice of you to come. Are you interested in the blacksmithing arts as well?
I'm more interested in keeping you safe.
Oh, thank you so much. I am very wee.
But you're also very kind.
Oh, thank you.
I give you guys a kind of a nice little salute, and especially Dolph, I'll give you a head nod saying like, good job taking care of the little one, but I'm gonna stay by the fire and play a little bit more. Keep my ears open.
Iggy pokes her head back in the door and says, don't leave without me. You'll probably die. And then she leaves again.
Yes.
So, I saw that Tax gave Iggy and I a light piece. I can do the same for you if you would like, just to have an additional light source.
I'm good. And I pick up like a pebble and I cast a light on it.
I just smile really big and go back to my book.
Quite honestly, I don't know how I do this.
That makes me frown.
So you are going to Black Iron Blades.
In the when we returned with the stuff, I went there to introduce myself and showed them the scroll. And I thought at that moment it would be better to immediately try to buy tools. But now I'm like, okay, surely it's okay. And my entire purpose is to buy smith tools from them before we leave.
Okay. I'm hold on, let me compose a message real quick.
Oh, Varuuk, I will, if like you keep doing that, I'll just grab a ball bearing and go, there you go. Do you need one?
Varuuk sees you all doing that and he's just like trying to mimic whatever you did to cast light. Like, oh, why isn't this working?
Can you cast light more than once, Lisa?
I can do the, what is it called? I can only do it 3 times per short rest. It is called, is it imbuing? No, this one is magical tinkering. So magical tinkering, I can do light, a 6-second recorded message, emit odor or nonverbal sound, a static visual effect, and 25 words of text. But I can only do it 3 times at a max presently of 3 objects at a time. So after a long rest, I'd have to do it again. Or sorry, short rest. Short rest on that one, long rest on the infusing. Infusing is a long rest, tinkering is a short rest.
Oh.
Iggy, you have a couple of messages.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You do, but you make your way to a Black Iron Blades, where you have been before, Tax, and you did indeed meet a very cheerful, kind of soft-spoken, again unusual for a smith, but completely lacking any sort of Scottish brogue. His name is Garn, and his sister Elza with a Z. Garn the Hammer makes the blades and whatnot, and Elza sells adventuring supplies such as rations and cold weather gear and ice packs and snowshoes, and it's not Walmart, it's more like Gmart, but they have a few things. And Garn kind of listens to your request about wishing to purchase smith tools, and he's like, I don't have an extra set like laying around, but I would be happy to produce a set for you. It would be ready probably in the next couple of days, of course, depending on the weather. But for you, I will give you the special price of 20 gold pieces.
And you can see her where like she immediately wants to say yes, but then she like stops herself because she has been learning from Brodyaga and Croesus and everyone here how haggling and everything is a cultural need. So she's like, that is a very fine price. However, my friends, hold on. How much is, let me go to the thing. How much are Smith tools supposed to be? Are they actual just
20 gold pieces? Yeah. That's, you're
that
getting the standard price as a favor
Yeah.
because you helped the smithy out by ensuring iron made it there, and not the I'm going to sell tools to a possible competitor here in town for the low price of 50 gold pieces. So
Okay.
you're
So you see her like going through stuff in her head, and she goes, I find that to be very reasonable and very friendly. However, I will not be able to give you half up front. I can, however, give you 25% up front. Will you take 5 gold pieces now?
and he's, he doesn't even bat an eye. He goes, yes, that will be fine.
Because to tax, it is custom to give half up front. And if you don't give half up front, you are not doing good business. This is what she has learned.
Can I do an insight check combined with like my knowledge of Black Iron Blades' kind of quality control? to see if
Reputation.
That was a fair price that she just bought those tools for.
Absolutely, you can.
That would be a 23.
You are absolutely confident that she is not going to find smithing tools anywhere in Icewind Dale at a better price.
Fair enough.
In fact, you're pretty confident that like you're thinking of like smithies and in other towns, and you're like, yeah, most of them won't even consider it because they're not going to outfit a potential competitor. Resources are already scarce enough.
And I will say, thank you ever so kindly. That will be amazing. I am going on a journey to Targos. It took us approximately 15 minutes to get here. So I believe I will be going on my way to Targos in approximately 25 minutes or less. And so when I get back, I will come back and I will pay you the rest and I will have the smith tools. And I thank you so very much.
This is, well, there's no hurry. They'll be done in a couple of days. So, you need to, when you are next here, I'm not going to sell them to anyone else. They'll be here and they'll be waiting for you.
Thank
And
you ever so
and
much.
Elsa says, oh, you're going to Targos, are you? Do you have everything you need for the road? Snowshoes, winter gear. Do you have everything you need, dearie?
I believe so. We have Mr. Brojaga and we have the lovely Iggy here, and they have told me that I have equipped myself with the best things that I can when we were in Huddlestone and we were heading north. And then when we came here, Brojaga ensured me that I had the best stuff that I needed for this area, and he would procure me things if I needed them.
And she kind of waits for you to wind down, and she goes, very good. And she kind of slyly gives Iggy a little knowing wink. And
He's completely oblivious.
right, and then just kind of smile and go, oh, okay, well, be safe and stay warm, and don't freeze to death.
It is
Because
definitely a plan not to freeze to death. I have many plans, and not freezing is number one on everything. Stay safe. Safety first.
That's a very good plan. You are in very good hands with Iggy. So
Oh, you are too kind. I just do my best. You of all people should know that, Elsa.
oh, absolutely, I do. Especially as recognizing you as a proud member of the Expeditions and Guides Guild. She's just making that up. She just basically, kind of like recognizes like.
So what you're saying is she's a good egg?
Well,
Guide.
she's huh?
The EGG
Mm-hmm,
position and guide skill.
That is right, which is better than the Evil League of Eagles, which is ELO. But
Hey
anyways,
guys,
yes.
I'm gonna have to go on rounds here in a second. I'll probably be back in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
I forgot Allie was a RA, friggin' narc.
Right.
A paid narc, excuse you.
Working
That's
for the
right.
man.
All
Can't believe
narcs
it.
are paid narcs.
Right.
Joe, before we leave, I want to do just narratively, just for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see their fire? Can I see the fire that they have going for their I guess kiln
Forge.
forge?
For the forge. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's kind of hard to miss.
Is there any chance that it can be like dying or like getting low?
No,
Maybe-
not at this.
Nope. Okay.
Not
Okay.
not at this time of day.
Okay. Then never mind, because I was gonna do the create bonfire to make it go whoosh, just for funsies. But I'm good. I'll save that for another day.
All righty.
Okay.
Well, you return. You make your return to what is that place? Oh yeah, the
Northlook.
And by now the storm has begun to really kind of die down. And so instead of being high winds and ice and snow being blasted across your flesh like a sandblaster, it's more like less of that. And it is beginning to kind of peter out and wind down into Icewind Dale's normal dark, frigid awfulness. And so you've made it back into the Northlook. The weather has begun to calm down. Do you wish to leave and go to Targos?
To Targos.
To Targos.
To Targos. Wait, we're not toasting. Okay, I'm getting my gear on. And strapping snowshoes to feet, putting the big oversized mittens on, cloak up, scarf across the face, and as soon as we're ready, let's head out.
All righty. Let me make so we have the cool.
Don't imagine with my 7 performance check that I got very many tips. But as
you feel you know that you were not at your best, and you feel fortunate that no one was like paying attention.
yeah.
All right. So are we departing?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you exit the North Look, you pass out through the North Gate without incident. And the landing page vista of darkness, snow, aurora, and I guess I would say torchlight, but evidently everyone here just poof with the light spell. So it's not completely and utterly dark, but that's basically what it looks like. And so you make your trek. You get about halfway there, and Bradyaga, whom was never like excited, when you brought up going to Targos, he wasn't like, yeah, let's go to Targos. He was kind of like, "Grr." So we get about halfway there, and he's like, okay, guys, I'm not going to go any further. Targos is just Targos is not my kind of town. So I'm going to camp out here, and when you guys come back this way, come just we'll find you, or if you spend a few minutes, and he and Iggy make some sort of, call and response. It can be bird calls or I don't know, flares, whatever you want to do so that you can meet up.
I hold my hand up and shoot a firebolt into the air and say, would that work?
Sure, that seems great. And so he does that, and you make the rest of the journey without incident. It is, in fact, still cold and still dark, and it's very Icewind Daily. And I am going to move your tokens onto a map of Targos. As soon as I can, there we go. Okay. Oh, right. I guess it needs lighting, maybe?
Lighting.
Yeah. All right. Daylight mode.
I can see.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
So as you can see, there's the little road. You get to the gates of Targos, and you are allowed entrance. They're not really in the business of keeping people, in or out. Iggy, you are aware that there are a couple of places where you could go. There is the Luskin Arms Hotel, which is probably the largest sort of tavern inn situation. There's also Three Flags Sailing, which is how to put this. If you knew of let's say, imagine a fantasy dive bar for fishermen and probably malcontents, Three Flags Sailing would be the place they would go. But you make your way, and so this would be, that's not going to work on there. Get the right one. So why is that? That is the Luskin Arms.
All right.
All right. This is Town Hall.
Okay.
That's the town hall.
That's the Town Hall.
Okay.
And that is Three Flags Sailing. So you're letting the gate through here. Nope, over here, Joe. You kind of make your way along this path to here. You get right here, you turn left, and what kind of passes for the town square in this area, right? And you turn this corner and you see a place in the middle of town that let me get back to the map. Come back here. So right about here.
Okay.
It's kind of about as much of a central location as you're going to get, but there is a wooden post, very large black wooden post, driven securely into the ground. A set of manacles bound with chains hangs from a hook about, towards the top of it. And there is anybody who knows anything about medicine or healing or has any sort of perception. Give me a perception or medicine check as you
I think I have that. Yes, I have
I I should. Give me 1 second. I gotta get there.
Whoa!
I got a 20.
You're gonna do way better than me, friend.
I know the area. I'm a local.
You know the area, and I'm just a nerd. So I got a 17. I'm just looking.
Not so good.
So, Iggy, you recognize what this is, and you recognize the shape of the ice down the side of the pole and around kind of like what would be a puddle. And you recognize this as the place where Targos makes its sacrifices. And the person to be sacrificed is brought out. It is somewhat of a public spectacle. They are manacled up to this pole, and then they are doused with water that freezes them in place. And you see the ice is broken, and there are some scratches and scrapes on the pole as though something did indeed show up to accept the sacrifice.
The offering.
Mm-hmm.
Gruesome.
Right. And so you are kind of confronted with that sight. And I mean, if you wish to explain that to other people, you can, but there you are at this special frozen offering pole.
Good night. I look at the manacles and whatnot. I'm like, where again is the Luskan arms? I would really like to get inside. I'm doing my old character's voice. Hang on. Good night. Where is again is the Luskan arms? It's very, very cold out here. I did not realize Targos was on a river.
You can see. I'm trying to think
We
of.
might need to warm Tax up. I think she is stuck.
Oh God, the hypothermia is all begun to set in.
Now, you can see Tax like shivering and like trying to draw, and then you see her approaching the water, and then like doing calculations in her head, and then turning back and go, yeah. Go inside, and then I need to return to the river later. It's very important that I come to the river. Later, much later.
Yes, we might want to warm up a bit first.
Right? Which
Ignite, do you know that what they've done here? Is it common to sacrifice people in Targos?
Did Brody not give you the kind of information packet? He did not tell you about the practices of these towns.
We didn't get the travel brochure.
right, the
Yeah.
the Targos Tourism Bureau. And if you're here on the night of on the night of a new moon, you too can witness a human sacrifice as we desperately try to appease the angry goddess of winter's wrath by giving her people.
I typically try to make myself scarce for these ceremonies, but it is a gruesome practice the people have taken up to try and appease the creature that is causing our winters to be a little bit more intense.
And Varuuk, do your people also practice this?
No. It's kind of barbaric, I think.
Agreed, my friend. Agreed.
I mean, if somebody came along that we had to make a sacrifice to, we would just club them over the head. Just saying.
As you guys are kind of soaking in this macabre sight, one of the townspeople, probably a fisherman by attire, kind of worn down, he kind of looks at you, kind of looking at the post, and he goes, "Yeah, old Narth decided that it was Denbick's time to go, because of the lottery." He kind of spits. He goes, "So, strange thing about that is old Denbick was he was a merchant, and after the sacrifice, Narth said he was Narth said he was going
Or
to
were we concerned about you?
right. Narth said he was confiscated all his goods and said he was going to redistribute them for the common good, but this was several days ago, and no one has seen a copper piece of what belonged to old Denbeck." And he goes, "That Speaker Narth is he's not a good person." And then he kind of realizes the act of sedition that he is just, committed in public. And he goes, you didn't hear it from me. And he kind of makes the Icewind Dale equivalent of the sign of the cross, looking at the sacrifice pole, and he kind of shuffles away back towards the docks.
Well, now that we got to have that fun talk, why don't we go try to find a warm fire, huh?
Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Start leading them into town.
Okay.
So what was the name of that speaker?
His name is Speaker Narth.
Thank you.
And Iggy, you would know that his name is Narth Maxil Danar.
What was that?
Maxil
Dinar?
Maxil Danar. MAXILDANARR. Maxil Danar.
Yar.
Got it.
So
And you said I recognized Maxwell as what? What was it?
Narth Maxildanar, he is the town speaker
The speaker.
of Targos.
Got it.
Speakers are like the mayors,
Yeah.
and they have a speakers council, which, kind of like, I don't know, Council of Lords, something like that. There's nothing here along the lines of royalty. Speakers are generally either elected or chosen somehow in something resembling a democratic act, but
A guild member, high guild member or something like that, or
just-
whatnot, however they're chosen.
sure. So that's what's going on. You guys gonna go to the Luskan Arms or the Three Flags Sailing, or maybe somewhere else?
Well, I'm partial to the Luskan Arms because it sounds home, but I don't know it any more than the name.
Right.
Based on the description of our friend Iggy here, the Luskan Arm sounds more appealing to me as well, although I only have so much coin on me.
Are you? And then you can see Tax like trying to go into her bag and then going, and then taking her bag out and digging into her bag and then pulling out this jug that just sloshes. And it seems like it's kind of hard for her to hold in one hand. And then she goes, "Here, you don't have to worry." And so she hands you a big old jug that is sloshy.
All right.
That weighs 12 pounds.
Oh, my friend, what am I got to get the right accent. My friend, what am I doing with this? And is it going to freeze out here in this weather?
Oh, it will never freeze. No worries there. If you want, today I figured we might all like some beer. So that is beer.
Excellent. Hopefully it's BYOB. I guess we head to the Luskin.
Like you said, I don't have a lot of money. And she's like, would you
Here
like
we go.
Quite honestly, I was hoping for money, but that's fine.
I was very, very optimistic there for just a second. Now I know better.
What do either of y'all say that out loud?
No. I doubt it.
No. We all love our little gnome friends.
What I miss?
We have made it to the town of Targos.
Mhm.
We have seen a pole with manacles hanging where they apparently chained the people up for sacrifice. It looks like it's been used, like scratches and rents in it. We got some information from a local about the local speaker, kind of like a mayor, who was supposed to be confiscating the goods from the person they sacrificed for distribution, but he's not seen any redistribution of that wealth yet, and it was kind of disparaged by the local.
And there may have been the implication that people are not chosen for the lottery with the lottery, but chosen because they may have some goods or materials that might be interesting for Narth, the speaker, to redistribute to himself.
Okay. So like Salem witch trials kind of thing. Joe, quick question. Does the pole and manacles look at all familiar to me?
And you're muted if you want to talk.
Make an insight check or a wisdom save, whichever would be easiest for you to pass.
Probably neither, considering, am I muted? Probably neither, considering wisdom is my dumb stat, but
All right, well then you should wow, -1.
yep. That's what happened last time you had me make a wisdom save.
Right. So the site itself is not familiar to you, right? Like you weren't here for the explanation. The sacrifice is brought out. They are stripped and they are placed in manacles on this pole, and then they are doused with cold water until it freezes them in place. And you, Iggy could tell, knowing of this practice, Iggy could tell that the ice that was been around the sacrifices, like their legs and their feet, has been broken and shattered. And there are some kind of, scratches and gouges in the pole, as though something appeared to accept the sacrifice.
I'm gonna move to a table or wave, someone who works here down and kind of point to a table and nod and see if I get a approval to go sit down.
Right. Well, Iggy, you are aware that the proprietor, Owen, right here.
Yeah, love this guy.
Right. You can tell he's probably a good guy. So Owen is you know he's fair, and he doesn't, he doesn't charge exorbitant prices. You are aware that there is a second floor to the Luskin Arms, and that's where there are some guest rooms. Oddly enough, there's also a meeting room. Siston, this place feels like home. And Tax, you recognize this building is very much in the style of a Luskin inn or an Luskin building about 200 years ago. Like this building it's a very old building. It was definitely built in a style to, showing a Luskin influence, but it was also a very long time ago. And this place is kind of dilapidated. Like it's like 1.5, maybe 2 stars on a good day. Probably though, it's like a 1 star. The food's okay, but the building itself is some of the boards look a little worn. The walls are stained and dark with ash and soot, and the smoke that has arisen from meats and things being cooked, and there's a haze in the room from the fireplace, and one of the people at one of the tables has a pipe, and they are kind of busily smoking. And when you all walk in, it's not quite the needle ripping off the record and everything stops, but you notice there wasn't a lot of noise in here to begin with. And as you look in, the people at the tables kind of look over, acknowledge you, and then kind of quietly return. And maybe those of you with a passive perception of about 13 or higher notice that they kind of shuffle their seats a little closer together, maybe lean in, and their conversation remains very, very low and indistinct. So Iggy, you recognize Owen behind the bar here, and well, there you
I
are.
wave at Owen as we all walk in.
Right.
Hey Owen, how is business tonight?
Owen just kind of looks up at you, and you know that Owen has been despondent. I mean, very few people in Icewind Dale are, hyper actively positive and up. Over the last few weeks, Owen has become even more despondent, and in a more civilized time, you might even call him depressed. But he kind of acknowledges you with doesn't even wave. He's just kind of like, and then kind of goes back to what he's doing, drying a glass and some plates behind the bar.
Tax will, after Iggy's acknowledgement of Owen, just walk directly up to the bar, because she's still in her cold wear, difficultly arrange herself where she can get on top of the bar stool and not sit on it, but stand on it. So she's like a normal human height or medium-sized height. And she goes, "How many rooms do you have available?"
And kind of looks over at you and makes his way over to the bar, and he says, "Well, the speaker, he's taken the biggest room. So then there's the meeting room, which you probably don't want to stay in. But he goes, well, there's one room with several beds. There's kind of a
Can you
suite.
define several? Several is not very precise, sir.
There's one room with 7 beds in it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And
There's the meeting room, which again, it's kind of a, because they tell me that there was a time when people used that room for banquets, but no one's had a banquet in there in forever. There's another. There's a larger room with 3 beds, kind of a suite situation. There's another room with 1 bed. There's another room with 3 beds and another room with 3 beds. Just basic rooms.
she will go, one moment, and she will turn to Varuuk and be like, Varuuk, do you like sleeping in the stables or would you like a room?
Yes, room kind of like cave, but I don't know, it's weird. Stables are nice.
Excellent. I do believe we will need, and then she like counts and she's like, I do believe 2 rooms of 3 beds would be sufficient for us. And then she looks around and she goes, does anyone have objections to that?
Great planning is always tax.
Weekend, do not spend any unnecessary coin on my behalf. You do not need to get a bed for me.
But would you like a bed? Because I feel like, and I do apologize if this is being rude, a lovely and kind woman of your age who has been walking in ill-fated weather for many, many hours would not be at a disadvantage for sleeping in a bed for one evening.
I appreciate your consideration. This is it. You do not feel obligated.
This is not obligation. This is payment in kind. You brought me all the way here and I'm going to pay you. But I also told Brodaga when I did this, that everywhere he'd take me, he would pay, I would cover room and board. Furthermore, I will ask you very politely to take me back to the river as soon as I warm up. And that is well worth it.
I will not stop you if you have your heart set on this, my friend.
Excellent. Owen, I need 2 rooms with 3 beds, please.
It is, that'll be 5 silver per room per night.
And she like looks and she realizes with a sad face that she doesn't have that money. She only has like so much more. So she like takes out the gem for 50 gold pieces and goes, will this work until we can tell you when we're leaving?
You almost detect like a sign of life. Like it's not like he brightens up, but he looks slightly less like Marvin, the paranoid android. And he's like, my lady, that is worth many, many times. But if you wish me to hold it,
No, tax. Take that back, and I pull out. How much did you say it was? How many silver pieces? 5 silver pieces.
5 per room per night.
So I hand him a gold piece, which is 2 for the night.
Okay.
And I've marked it on my inventory.
Okay.
And ask for keys to the rooms. And then what can we do to secure food here soon?
So
and then Tax will just look at the gem and then hand it to you. Just like,
all right. I ain't fighting that.
So you know that to get upstairs, the rooms are in. It's not like a hallway situation. You have these stairs here and these stairs here, and they lead up to sort of like a common landing room, and then their rooms off of there.
As we leave the bar area, I lean over to the barkeep Owen and say, I wanted to ask if it would be appropriate. I can play a little and would be happy to do so, just for whatever tips could be by. And also, I didn't know if you could tell me which room would be the speakers so we don't disturb him. We passed someone in town and they very cryptically said we wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, so I don't want to be too loud.
Your idea is that the speaker, his room is, so you have the northeast corner.
Mhm.
You have the northeast room. His room is over that section, so it's going to be on the second floor. So, I mean, unless you get very loud, you probably will not have a problem disturbing the speaker.
Is there anything that I should know as not to offend him if he comes into the common room and I'm playing?
And who are you asking this to?
To Owen, the barkeep.
He says, just don't bring up the sacrifices, and don't bring up business unless you have some sort of business with him.
No worries, friend. Thank you. And is it all right if I do a little playing this evening?
And he just kind of motions over towards the fireplace. I really wish I could have more than one of these pages open at once. He motions over towards the fireplace. There's the table here, this other table here. He says, you know, if you do wish to play there, you can. You can also play in this area where your robed friend is currently standing. So, which is down here. He goes, either place would be fine. Might be nice to have something different here.
Any favorite song or ballad for you?
There's that song about the rabbit. No.
There's a Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It's always a good one.
Yeah, no,
Mariner's Revenge.
He-
They always love this.
he kind of mumbles the name of a song that you are aware of. Just picture him as being a beaten down, depressed basic bitch, and whatever basic bitch song he would want to hear is like one you've heard at least 1,000 times, and you are comfortable and you are knowledgeable of the song and well aware of it.
Hotel California it is.
Oh,
That's right.
He's not here.
Okay, I'm going to go warm some food up. I will be right back.
That's good.
As we get by the fire, I will look at Dalen. Tax will look at Dalen and be like, thank you so much for handling that. Sometimes I find that I may not understand the customs here. And sometimes my father's promissory note, they don't like it. And I don't understand. My father is very, very good. And
I hand you the gem back. I just didn't want it out there in public in front of that guy and say, go ahead and keep this for now. If we need to arrange fund transfers later, we can. And I hand you your gem back.
And then I said, no.
Tax. We all pitch in. It's customary. What he did was customary. Don't offend him.
Oh, I was just I believe that you said that you do the books around here and that you're very good at that sort of, well, not around here technically, 2 hours back, approximately 350 kilometers. I do believe it was that far. Anyway.
No.
We are traveling so fast.
I am like, wow.
Well, I'm sorry. I will say the actual kilometers.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You scared
Yeah.
poor. Iggy there for a second.
Iggy, how do you travel, man?
That's what you get when you
5
fly
kilometers.
Air Iggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
From Chandra to Targos in 2 hours at 175 kilometers per hour, or your money back.
And she'll say, I will make you a deal. If this can cover all of my money dealings from now until we part company. And then of course, if you need more, please let me know. And then what I will also do in payment for your services, because they are so kind, is that I will work this evening on a bag for you and perhaps a jug. What would you like in your jug, sir?
Actually, the beer is quite nice. I've been sipping it since you handed it to me.
You have 4 gallons of beer in that jug.
That is so it's like carrying a 5-gallon bucket around -1. Yeah, I'm gonna get tired after a while, but I appreciate it. And I have it sitting next to me here at the table.
But I should add that once I do make you your bag similar to mine, sir, it will be nearly weightless. Well, technically it's not weightless. Technically you would be gaining 3 pounds, but within those 3 pounds, you can carry infinitely more weight.
So Don has a question because he doesn't play Artificer. How many of those can you actually create and how long do they last?
They infinitely last until unmade, like until broken. And I can do 2 infusions per day. Right now, the only 2 that I have chosen is the Magic Bag of Holding and the Alchemist Jug.
Yeah.
So I can do those once per long rest. And
But if you make me a bag of holding,
Mhm.
and then tomorrow you decide you're going to make something else, this doesn't go away. This stays a bag of holding.
Yeah.
That seems very powerful for a first level character.
Usually, if you change an infusion, the previous ones go inert.
Well, it said, okay, so maybe that is some clarification I need. It says use.
I mean, I'm all for a you know, I'll buy a bag of holding a day for the next week.
So there was an aspect of Artificer that me and Jay decided not to mess with when I started it, which was create minor magic items and stuff like that.
It's replicate magic item. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that kind of breaks the game, so we decided not to play with those rules. Just throwing that out there.
So this is what it does. I just pasted it, and
Yeah,
then
I'm reading.
the chart, like right now, I can do stuff, but I can't do much, and I had to choose which 2
Those are good ones.
yeah, those are the ones I chose because I was thinking survival. Those seem like the best for survival for my wee little self.
But yeah, Lisa, I'm pretty sure the magic item thing, it's still an infusion, and it's still, if you move that bucket of magic away from that item to something else, you're still limited. Like it would turn that other one off.
Because I didn't read it that way, and I was like, this is fucking rad. Why wouldn't I just replicate magic items all the time and be
Yeah, and rich.
Yeah. I can yes, I want to check with Joe on his.
Like if you have 2 infusions right now, those are your 2 infusions, and you're not infusing anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, it says each of your infusions can only be in one object at a time. So you can't make infinite bags of holding. You can turn one thing into a bag of holding.
Okay.
But then that's it.
And then my levels increase, so
Yeah. And I think
you'll get more, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think you can transfer the infusions to other things. I just don't think you can have like 5 different bags.
Right, yeah.
Bags of holding.
Yeah. The
That
other
makes
ones
much more
that
sense.
would stop, they would become.
Yeah, I think it would stop being a bag of holding.
So are you guys going to keep standing by the door? Or are you going to filter out? What are you going to do?
Look at me, man. I'm way over here at this table.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, I said it at a different table. My apologies.
I'm at the bar ordering a mead from Owen.
Do you want to stand by the one with the fireplace by any chance?
Oh, yeah.
Over here.
See, that would look like that was in a room. I didn't want to go take a room, but I'm happy to go there. Yeah, I prefer to be by fire.
See, because this,
There's no way you can make infinite bag of holdings at first level.
at second level, sir. And then this is what it says in D&D Beyond, which is why I was so confused and why I was like, this is fucking rad. Why wouldn't I ever do that? Is your infusion remains in an item indefinitely, but when you die, the infusion vanishes after 3 days.
But yeah, read the very last sentence.
Oh, okay. You give your knowledge of the infusion or exceed your maximum number of infusions. Okay. Got you. That makes sense. Thank you.
So, Tax and Dolph, you see the door open down here into the south, and you see a person kind of very nonchalantly kind of walk through the room and, you know, kind of get to here and then go up these stairs.
I'm playing much better tonight.
Yay, all right.
I misunderstood. For some reason, I misunderstood. I am not where I'm supposed to be. I was never intending to split the party.
Right. You know, I realized I said he's on the northwest side. He's on the northeast side.
Okay.
You are now performing directly under his room.
Oh.
My bad.
All right. Then would we have gone to the other fireplace, guys?
I went over here because I thought this is where we were going. Because this room looks like it's like shut off so that not all the patrons could hear you.
I mean, he made it clear
Mhm.
that that this table
Uh-huh.
and this one would be fine for you to kind of, you know, post up on.
Cool.
And these two actually pause and like look at you and kind of take you in. And they're kind of actually enjoying it. Owen kind of actually makes his way over here so that he can hear you. These people actually kind of pay attention. You are doing a good job. It helps that it's a well-known song, but yeah, you're putting on a more than adequate performance. You're putting on a very good performance. You're feeling it. You have the crowd and you know it.
Well, definitely after I have that warm up and I'm playing, I do try to catch Owen's eye and then launch into a very, you know, adequate performance of Hotel California. That
Okay.
Iggy and I from the very back of the tavern goes, Freebird!
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Turn it up.
Wonderwall.
When I worked for High End Systems, I was on the road with Travis Tritt, and the very
Really?
yeah.
What?
Mhm.
Really?
Really. And the last show of that tour was with Leonard Skinner in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all super jazzed because we knew we could be in the lighting pit and shout Freebird and you know, they were going to play it.
Nice.
Also, the bus that we were in, Travis had purchased it from Hank Williams Jr. And we were kind of scared to like shake the carpet or anything. So we didn't know how much cocaine was going to come out.
Mm.
But,
you'd be like,
right.
oh,
So you notice, I mean, it's not like it's being hidden, but the same person comes, I can't do it on that map, Joe. Same person comes back down these stairs and goes out the front door and leaves. Look like they're moving with purpose. So you guys just gonna kind of quietly hang out? Are you gonna try to interact, or what you
Or
gonna?
having a road would help on a classic party.
Iggy will, is there like a window that I can peek out? Try to like very see,
I mean,
see
you
where
could,
this
yeah, you could
fellow is
look
going.
out this window over here.
It's dark.
Iggy will hobble around to this side of the table and look out the window and try to spy the guy who just left.
He kind of makes his way around the corner. You do see something interesting looking out the window. You see a dog, like a sled dog. And you know that that dog belongs to Garrett, who is kind of a fellow guide, expedition kind of person.
Expedition and
And-
Guides Guild. He's a fellow
Mhm.
member.
Yes, he is an egghead,
Yeah.
as you guys call yourselves. And you recognize that dog. It has you know now Garrett's not the most creative guy, and that dog's name is Boy. But you also know that if that dog isn't pulling a sled, he's with Garrett. And you can tell he's kind of like frantically looking around, sniffing the ground, and you know that that Garrett's shop and his husband Keegan, you know that they live not very far from here. So it's kind of odd for you to see that particular dog running around loose.
Right. Iggy will let out a very dignified little grandma gasp, and then
Oh my lord!
yeah. Oh my goodness, honey, are you out in the snow in the cold? And she,
Texas grandmother.
yeah, she shuffles out into the snow and brings Garrett, she brings Boy inside, and then she casts Speak with Animals, and she says, "Boy, where's Garrett? Where's Keegan?"
And having speak with animals is absolutely a cheat code right here. So this is awesome. But Boy looks at you and he goes, oh, Garrett's in trouble. Because we went to the big hill. I don't know how dogs talk.
You're doing
I
great.
think you're doing a great job.
I was feeling
We went
it.
to
I was feeling-
it was a big guy and a medium girl and then a small girl, and they wanted to go to the big hill out east, and something happened, and I'm really scared. I'm trying to get home to Keegan. I think something really super bad has happened.
Well, boy, why don't I come and help you get home to Keegan, and then My new friends and I will go and find Garrett for you.
Okay.
Would
And he
you
goes,
like
well,
a bone?
he goes, well, yeah, bone be good. Um,
She just reaches into her little Sherpa and pulls out a random bone from
goes,
nowhere.
and if you give me like 2 or 3 minutes on the way there, I need to like circle around about 5 or 6 times, wind up the butthole and poop because I haven't pooped all day and I'm really scared. But you know, but you smell familiar. Come, come. Let's go. Come on. There's no time to waste. And I mean, he's the dog equivalent of Frantic Lassie.
Hmm. I'll turn around from my titillating conversation with Boy and shout. Oh my gosh! Shout across the bar in the tavern. I'll go, come on, y'all, load up your stuff. We need to go. I talked to this dog over here, and we need to go. Wait, come on, let's go.
Oh
I'll
my
explain
God.
on the way.
And I just end the song with a triumphant chord, and I said, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here shortly back from a break. Please show your appreciation. And as I'm walking out, I just kind of hold a cap to I guess the only other remaining patrons at the building, but I'm trying to shrug on coat and whatnot. I hadn't even made it upstairs, so I just have all my stuff.
Tax.
They
here's-
actually toss a couple of coppers in your hat.
Tax hears Sandalphon just kind of mumble to himself. She's just like my sister.
Is she really like just like if I were to draw your sister, would it be the same? I have measured her eye, the difference between her eyes, and it's about 3.
She doesn't look like my sister. She acts like my sister.
You measured the difference between my eyes?
Mm-hmm.
When did you do that?
No, it's estimated.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, like whenever if you were to give her the opportunity, 100% she would be at your face with a protractor and a ruler. And
Iggy does have a very cool face. She's a very old lizard folk. She's probably on one of her last molts, you know, or she's gone through a lot of molts, but she has these very cool like lizard. You know, lizards have those little spines that kind of come out these like frills, but hers are all very Arctic color paletted. And she's got the big Eskimo cloak. But yeah, she's if anyone's still in their seat, she's going around like Yoda, kind of thumping you with the stick, like up, come on.
oh, Tax said go, and then she's getting ready, and then as you if you just thump her once, she'll just look at you and be like, "Can we also go by the river?"
Well, we might be able to make a stop there.
Okay. And then she's getting ready.
Start.
So
Walking towards
you
the
all get together and you follow Iggy, who's following a panicky dog named Boy, and he kind of leads you. Iggy, you are familiar with Garrett and Keegan's home. Not that you've been a guest there, but that's you've done business on a professional level, and so you kind of wind around a few houses down. It's a modest house, like all houses are in the 10 towns, but you as soon as you get to the door, the Boy breaks away from me and he's like scratching on the door and pawing at it, and he barks a few times and until the door opens, and you meet a some of you might find him to be a handsome man, human man, probably in his 30s or so. And as soon as the doors open, the dog races inside. And the guy kind of looks down at the dog, and then he looks up with a big smile, all expectant. And then he doesn't see who he thought he was going to see. And his expression becomes clouded and concerned. And he looks at all of you and he says, well, come inside.
Thank you
And so
very much,
he
Mr.
kind of
Smith.
welcomes you in. He has a kind of a large urn with warm cider in it, and he pours all of you a cup and kind of sits down. And the dog is still freaking out, but he's a little less freaking out. And he kind of sits down in his chair and he says, okay. Goes, well, Iggy, I haven't seen you in so long. Okay. So Iggy knows this, but the rest of you, maybe not. I was born here in the 10 Towns, but Garrett, my husband, he was not. And he came from a wealthy family in Neverwinter. He didn't care for the city life. When I met him, he was working as a guide. He loves the outdoors. He loves the mountains. He loves to climb mountains. So that's what he started doing. We have our little business, being, proud members of the Explorers and Expeditions Guild, proud eggheads. And it was a couple of days ago. There was a group of, well, and he kind of looks at you all and he goes, adventurers.
Was one very tall with, and I will describe a Goliath?
Yes, that is absolutely the person. He had a tiefling and a halfling with him.
And they went looking for the werebear, yes?
Well,
Rojaga said that he would be better than Garrett.
well,
Pax, this might be a listening time.
right. Bradyaga is definitely capable, but he is also he is very much known to have a very high opinion of himself. But I'm probably biased. So these adventurers, I believe the big one's name was Morax Mokingo. His name was Mokingo, the big, tall Goliath. Anyway, he came. He hired Garrett to lead him up the slopes of Kelvin's Cairn. And Garrett's plan was to take them to Caer Koenig, the town, at the foot of Kelvin's Cairn. And they were going to get some climbing gear from the outfitter there. And he would lead them up the mountain. Garrett took 6 dogs and a sled. Boy here was Garrett's favorite, you know that. And, raised him from a pup. Boy would never leave Garrett's side unless something terrible has happened. And he kind of looks around, kind of looks at all of you, and he says, like he thinks for a moment, His eyes kind of pause on you, Iggy, as though he's kind of weighing whether or not he can trust, or that you would be the person. He says, Iggy, you've known Garrett, and I know you're competitors, but Garrett's never said an unkind word about you. I hope the feeling is mutual, but 'cause I know it's a big ask, but could you follow them? Could you try and go? Could you go to Kelvin's cairn and find out what happened?
Oh, Keegan, I was going to do that as soon as little boy here came and told me what happened. I love Garrett, such a sweet boy. I'd hate to see my favorite young lovebird couple in Targos broken up.
And he looks at you, and like he is on the verge of tears, and he just says, thank you, Iggy. Thank you. Because
He
I don't have a lot of money, but I do know Owen at the Luskan Arms, and I'm certain we could come to some sort of agreement for some free food and lodging at the Luskan. When you're here, if you're able to find him, that would be thank you. And he's definitely shaken. He says, I'm also a scrimshander by trade, and I can give you some of my artwork. Some folks say it's good work and beautiful, and
Oh, you don't worry about nothing like that, honey. I do this free of charge.
I lean forward and say, I don't particularly need work, but I would ask your opinion. I hold out the staff and the work, the carvings done into the narwhal staff, and say, would you have an idea of maybe have you recognized this work?
he looks at it. He goes, let me consult the charts.
The
Um,
reason I ask is I'm a member of an order that has sworn to protect the North for generations, and this is one of the artifacts from times past, handed down. And part of my mission up here is collecting information about the order as we work to reestablish it. And in any information I can have tracking down, you don't have to answer today. I'm hoping we will see you again soon if you can think on it and maybe
He looks at it, and he puts on he brings a lens up to his eye, and he looks at it and he says, it is quality work, but I don't know. I unfortunately I can't tell you any details about it.
I appreciate your attention. The only other thing I might ask, and I look over at Iggy and say, while I do not doubt the skill, it would help the rest of us who are not familiar with the area. Would you have maybe a spare map of the 10 towns area to help me wrap my brain around where everything is? I know names from being here for about the last month, but everything else is very amorphous. And I look at tax and go, there are certain things that help solidify these things into my mind, and I think it would help. Your husband being a guide, I assume, would have various versions of maps for the area, distances between towns. It'd be very helpful to our crew. I'm happy to purchase.
He thinks for a second. He goes, give me a few minutes. And he goes, kind of goes to the other room. You can hear him kind of rummaging around a little bit. And after a few minutes, he emerges with a kind of worn vellum map, not a very big one, probably about 18 inches by 18 inches.
Okay.
And it is of the 10 towns. And it has very, very rudimentary landmarks on it.
Yeah, like dot with a distance kind of thing, or maybe a number of days in between, because that's probably what they're more interested in than actual distance.
Right.
Got it. Okay. I'll call it crude map of 10 towns.
Tax will pull on Dolph's sleeve.
Yes.
Is it now a time to talk?
Yes, this is now a time to talk.
Excellent. And then
I put a gentle hand on Tax's and whisper in Tax's ear, only nice things about Garrett. And come up.
She'll take out her book, and then she'll like flip to a page that she has made a very rudimentary map of from listening to everyone, and compare it to that map, and then look at Iggy and goes and say, oh God, now I've already forgot the name of the town. 1 second. Kara Koenig is on another river. Is that right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I would love to take you on this journey if I am allowed to look at the river.
There's nothing stopping you from looking at a river, my dear.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And Keegan says, you can, Kara Koenig is...
Sorry, hello. Hello, are you the impostor?
Oh my goodness.
Are you
Adorable.
impostor or crewmate? You looking sus, friend.
It's pretty awesome. You looking sus.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Sorry.
That was good. Thank you.
Logan is very sus.
Yeah.
So Keegan kind of says, he goes, probably take 14, 15 hours if you follow the roads to get from here to Kara Koenig. When you get to Kara Koenig, go by Frozen Fire Expeditions. And that's probably where they bought their mountaineering gear. So if anybody knows where they are, what happened to them, that would be the place to check. He says,
Frozen far.
I'm humbled and speechless. Please bring my husband home. He's kind of my star in the night sky. And he will let you stay in his home for a little while, or you could tell he's not going to like rush you out the door, but you are also keenly aware that if an expedition has come off the rails, so much so that the dog left, there are people, at least Garrett, probably the three adventurers in the party that, kind of you guys saw in the tavern, and they are out in the elements, maybe on the slopes of Kelvin's cairn.
Iggy, now, is there any way that we could start out tonight, or is it just too cold and too dangerous?
Let me check our forecast for the evening. And
And,
I'll use Druidcraft to predict the weather. Well, would you look at that? It's cold and wet and awful.
No,
again.
it's not wet. It's too cold to be wet. It's just cold and dark and cold. And also there's not much light. Oh, one more thing. It's really fucking cold. And windy. Yeah.
Tax will raise her hand and just kind of wait.
Whom are you waiting on?
Dal will be like, go ahead.
She will then go, I understand that that promptness is a priority here. However, for efficiency's sake, do you know of? And then she will say, do you know Torga Icevane, or where he and his caravan might be right now?
Do I know Torga Icevane?
No, that's not to you. That's to the.
Oh, I thought that
Keegan.
was to me.
You're bringing us here to find him.
Right.
Well, Torga is a her.
So
And Keegan kind of thinks for a second. He goes, they don't really come into town. They don't have. Torga's not the kind of person that I would do business with. But I think I heard something about there being a little merchant caravan set up outside of town. But I'm pretty sure they left yesterday.
in what direction?
I honestly don't know. You might ask someone at the Luskan Arms or anyone else. I didn't see them, and I really haven't left the house much.
Understandable. I hope to return with your husband. He seems like he is a guide.
He very, very much is.
Sandalphon will just kind of like do a palm to the face. I can't do that. I'm doing face master right now, but we'll definitely put her hand to her face.
And it doesn't even acknowledge it. It just goes right, like just kind of misses it. So
I do the thumbs up, just like
right.
that was solid.
He said, so Iggy, you recognized Boy? Do you think it might help you if Boy went with you?
I'll look down at Boy. Do I still have Speak with Animals running?
I don't know. How long does it last?
It lasts.
I believe 10 minutes.
It lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably not so much.
Probably not. Well, I'll look down at Boy. And speaking of cute dogs.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, and he's like, bark, bark. Timmy fell down the well. Bark, bark. Take me with you. Bark, bark.
Ellie,
Also-
we need sound effects. Can you bark? Nope. Okay.
I'll say I think that Boy would make an invaluable addition to our crew.
All right. He has He's like, that, anything that might help. Just bring him home, please. Bring him home.
I promise that we will, Keegan.
Thank you. Thank you, Iggy. Do you want more cider?
Oh, Keegan, thank you. We actually have room secured at the Luskin, so we will likely return there now that we know what was going on with Boy.
And probably head out first.
He says, well, I'll keep Boy here tonight. I'm not so sure that the Luskin Arms is what you would call pet friendly.
That is fair. We will come by in the morning before we head out of town then.
He says, I will be, frankly, I don't think I'll be sleeping, so that's fine.
I hate to be contrary, but Iggy, what is the difference between leaving now and leaving in the morning? We have only been on the road for approximately 2 hours, and we've been in this town for approximately an hour and a half. So that means that we are only, and like she will continue to rattle on until someone interrupts her.
It is a fast approaching time for rest, and so we will need to go to sleep because we didn't get here till 6 o'clock at night. So it's 7:30 or 8 at this point.
Is that customary?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I think back, have I seen Tax sleep?
I don't know.
Assistant has.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I slept on the common room floor so I'm actually looking forward to a bed.
So we're going back to the inn.
Yeah.
So Sandalphon will go up next to Tax and will kind of lean down to whisper to her. I'm a little worried about you showing off the jewel in a town where rich people get murdered. So I'm going to be sleeping in the room you're sleeping in tonight to make sure you don't get murdered.
That sounds like a very excellent plan. I did not know that that was a thing. Excellent. I will no longer show my money. It's a good thing that I gave it the jewel, at least to Dalen. Do you think that was a good idea? I think it was a good idea. I hear that he's very good with money. That is what he did when he was in Brinchander.
Yes.
On the walk back, I'm talking to Iggy. So I definitely want to assist your acquaintance. We did actually come here for a certain job, and I don't know if heading out again immediately to basically the other side of 10 Towns is what we should be doing next. We might need to discuss this as a group, and at some point we might want to reach out to Brod Yagub so he knows what our plan is.
Oh, I am more than happy to acquiesce to your greater judgment.
Well, so when we get back to the inn and we're together kind of sitting around, I do want to kind of strategize with the group. So timetable wise, this one would obviously be more of a dire consequence where time is of the essence. And even though it's only 17 hours, if we run into any kind of weather, that's at least a 2 or 3 day trek there on foot. Do we want to try to secure maybe some other kind of mode of transport? Dog sled, as Boy would pull, or some other such to at least get us closer before we have to leave on foot. At least he's looking at the map, Care Denival or whatnot.
Are you asking when we get back to the
Yeah. Once we get back, we'll sit down strategies. Dalen will talk on the walk, but he is muffled up with a scarf and hood, when we're outside as much as he can be.
When you say this, you can see that obviously Tax was like thinking about something completely different. And then when you start talking about that, she's like, oh, yes. And then she just hops down and walks over to the bar. And she will get back upon the stool and then say, hello.
Who'd she sing hello to?
Owen.
Probably the NPC Owen, not the PC, not the player Owen.
This is true.
So this guy,
Yep.
he kind of looks up at you. Yes.
Do you know Garrett?
Of course I do.
Garrett was employed by 3 people. One was a Goliath, one was it, and I will like describe them in such excruciating detail from what I remember from the North Look. And then I will go, and we will be entering to help them. But before we do, we are looking for the merchant's caravan that left town about a day ago. Do you know in which direction they went?
He thinks about it for a second, and you can almost like you see wheels or perhaps dice turning in his head, and he goes, you're talking about Targos?
Yes, indeed. I am talking about Targos caravan.
Yeah, they left heading. They were headed east. I'm not sure where.
Would we have passed them?
You didn't.
Okay.
You didn't cross paths with them.
So if we're coming in from Bryn Shander and they went east, my taxes, and I can roll an investigation check or whatever check you want. I guess might be insight, is that they were heading east and possibly north to Tourmaline because that's the only other major route.
This is more intuition than anything else. Give me a wisdom save.
Okay. I'm not too good at those, but I'll do it.
97.
Nah.
It's, you haven't been here that long. It's cold and it's dark. They went east. It really depends if they have a circuit they follow, if they're, making the rounds, or if they are going, if they try to be in a certain town at a certain time, or what. It could be either one. You really don't have enough information to confidently make that call.
I will ask if there is an event going to happen in Tourmaline in whatever the name of the next month is.
Let me look.
It says,
There's a Midsummer
you mean-
Festival at the end of this month.
right?
Mm.
Because there's there's midsummer between Flame Rule and Eliasus, but there will be what passes for midsummer celebrations. And he kind of pauses for a second and realizes that's also the day of the new moon.
Does he say that out loud?
No, he just kind of like,
Boom, boom, boom.
oh, that's also the new moon, and you swear you see his eyes kind of glance up as though he were thinking about the patron in a room, and then kind of glances over, and what you're relatively certain is the direction of the sacrifice pole. And he kind of trails off, hoping that you are picking up what he's laying down.
Well, I just rolled an investigation. Did I pick up? And exactly how much did I pick up?
I mean, you are relatively confident that he was glancing up at the speaker's room in the northeast on the upper floor. And, he didn't say new moon and midsummer, but you know the calendar, know the cycle of Saloon, and no Bothans died bringing you the information that midsummer and new moon are coming up at the end of Flame Rule.
So
And then
Lisa, just for my edification, investigation is like searching something physically, not a physical, not a interpersonal interaction.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe I was thinking because I would say that she uses investigation with perception, because she wouldn't, in my mind, her perception isn't good because she's not like picking up on a person or anything. She's investigating and going, he looked directly in this direction, and I know from this it's in this. So I'm rolling the wrong thing.
It's less about where he was looking and more about how in your mind when those dates and moon cycles will converge.
Okay.
And then you realize, based on earlier, you recall he mentioned something about the speaker being in that room, and you also remember that the place where the offerings are made was to the northwest of here. So not necessarily about interpersonal, but more about deduction.
And with the utmost tact that Tax has, she will look at him and say, is there something going on with the speaker and the sacrifices?
And that's a quiet time. That's a quiet question, Tax.
Record scratch.
And
freeze frame.
And literally the most animated you've seen this depressed guy be. His eyes grow huge for just a moment, and he says, I haven't said anything about that.
You are absolutely right. You have not said a thing. That is
And he looks at, he
absolute
leans
fact.
in, he leans into you, and he says, and if I were you, I wouldn't say much about it here. Look, nobody wants to sacrifice people who live here. But this druid showed up, and she was Vernus. Vernus was her name. And she showed up a few months ago, and she got right in town where that pillar is. And she started preaching that the only way to appease Arl was through sacrifice. Because now, I don't know how I've feel about that. I don't know if I believe it or not. But I can tell you that Speaker Narth took that suggestion and ran with it. But
What does this druid look like?
she was human, female, dressed in dark gray cloak that looks like she'd been outdoors a lot. Fair complected. I couldn't really see her hair because it was under a hood. She was very animated. There was a man with her. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. She said his name. His name. No. Okay. She was named Ravison, and his name was Vernus. And
Sorry, Joe, I don't want to interrupt, but I know I'm gonna have to run because I have to pick people up from downtown. I know we're ending in like 30 minutes anyway, but
right.
sorry, guys.
No worries. Good seeing you, man.
But it was great finally being able to be here again. Super, super fun.
Cool.
You play great old lady.
Right,
Yeah,
you
right, old lady.
make a great old lady, Owen. A
Thank you,
great,
thank you,
a
thank
great
you.
elderly lizard person.
I look forward to playing with your old lady again.
See you soon, friend.
Perfect. See you guys.
Okay, bye, Owen. And so he says, so, if you wanted to find out more, maybe find those two.
Do I recognize either of them?
Well, you haven't seen them, although you will say that description sounds familiar.
Allie has poor memory with being awake a lot recently. Familiar with the dream or familiar with something else? Not with the dream.
Before you there was the time you were wandering around.
Yeah. Around that time?
Around that time. Like,
Got it.
right, I would say probably just within, say 24 to 48 hours before you were wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes
there
sense.
were a few people matching that description that you were aware of. And what they were doing. They were doing, druid stuff. Right? Druid stuff. Anyway, so he says, so, maybe if you find Ravison or Vernus, maybe you hear their gospel straight from them. But right now, we're not talking about it because Narth has eyes and ears everywhere. So I've said enough. Enjoy your stay.
I walk over to assistant and say, I think it might be time for Tax and you to retire to a room.
Because I'm the only one that heard that. If I imagine it's gonna happen, I will whisper to assistant, I can't talk about it here.
Go up. I'm so very tired.
Sandolphin,
Yes.
you should probably join them.
I'm aware. Assistant, do you mind waiting outside of the room for 30 seconds after Tax and I go in?
Not at all.
So when Tax and I get into the room, I look at her and I say, I'm telling you a secret. Look at me telling you a secret. This stays between us. No one else.
Yes, I will not write this down. I will commit it to memory. Hold on. Okay.
Those names are familiar to me. I heard them in a dream. And ever since then, my chest has been itchy.
Is this why you wanted the salve?
Yes, this is why I wanted the salve. The salve isn't necessarily helping. The chest itching, I think, is more of a divine or whatever the opposite of that is nature.
Excellent. Okay, good to know. And then I will ask you, but I know that Sistan, like you said, how many minutes did you tell Sistan?
I said 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So she'll be like,
Sistan's not coming in until they're asked.
yes, but 100% in Tax's head, she is counting 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be later when we're not here, because apparently here has eyes and ears everywhere for Narth. When we're not here, I would really like to draw these people so that we can show them around other places if it is only safe, because I feel like this is very secretive and it's not very safe.
Yes, let's just say they're the kind of people I tend to attract.
Varuuk, give me a perception check with advantage.
Varuuk! Varuuk! Varuuk!
So you guys are in the common room in this area. You absolutely clock a guy standing right here.
Uh-oh.
Looks like maybe he's trying to ear hustle.
Uh,
And he
That conversation happened in a room upstairs. You know that, yes?
right. I'm not talking about there. I'm talking about this when you were talking to we're backtracking in time a wee bit.
Okay, got you. I just wanted to make sure we were
Right. And you just kind of notice him sort of maybe lingering closer to Tax for maybe longer than was polite. You've seen this guy come in and out a couple of times. He didn't pause or stop. He was very nonchalant, but he didn't pause anywhere. He was moving with purpose. So you recognize that he sort of paused and like paid attention for a few seconds and then kind of makes his way towards the door to the north.
Toward where?
To the north.
Is that outside or inside?
The double
Is
doors
that-
up here.
Is that out that to the outside?
Yes, it is.
So my spider sense tingles, and I kind of get up from where I'm leaning against the wall. I kind of just jump down off the little steps there and plant myself in front of the double doors and kind of arms and shoulders wide, hands on my hips with the shield on my back. Hello, friend.
He kind of
Going somewhere?
stops. And so his eyes are at like maybe nipple level on you, right? And he kind of stops and he looks up and he's like, hi.
So, I noticed you like to eavesdrop, eh? It's very, very mob. Do you know what that means?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
And I shout, Mog! And I kind of like slam my fist down on his shoulder, kind of just to emphasize.
Mog? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And he just kind of like goes, like, he is very not used to someone stopping him. And he's like, what?
So, so very much like Bane in Dark Knight Rises, I just put my palm on his shoulder.
And he kind of looks at you and he looks up. Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes.
Then give me some sweet, sweet intimidation. That's he is
Wow.
you could tell he kind of like he's kind of shrinking back a little bit, and he's like, what? Look, man, I've never seen someone like her before. And he kind of like points over at Tax, and he goes, so, I was just, he goes, I that's all. He goes, I wasn't, what does Mog mean?
It means dishonor. And I grab his collar and I kind of just start dragging him over to the bar where Tax is.
Okay, make a strength check.
Athletics, maybe?
Strength, athletics, either one. Oh, I rolled a 19. He's like, whoa, hold on, man. Just calm down. Look, he goes, I am right in the middle of performing a task for the speaker. And he's not a patient man. He goes, so tell you what, I'll give you, and he reaches over into a pouch and he pulls out a gold piece and he goes, I'll give you a gold piece. You'll just like let this go and let me go about my business.
I slap his gold piece away and I perform a shove action to knock him down on the ground.
Okay, down he goes. And he looks up and he goes, man, you really should have let me leave. Roll for initiative.
Okay, at this point, where is Sandalphon? Are they upstairs? Are they still in the common
No,
room?
this is before you go up to the common room.
Yeah, so this is us in the bar.
Yep.
Oh,
We
she
need
is
a-
down to fight.
We need an initiative tracker.
We do. That would be this thing.
So real quick, Joe, if you'll allow me, one thing I want to yell right as he says that, or this can be the first thing I try to do here in combat, is I'm gonna reach down and grab his leg and go to like start pulling him over towards the bar, and I yell, "You will apologize!"
All right. Well, you've got him under your control, so he's gonna put
all
yourself
about being rude or not rude.
right.
Joe, I rolled a natural 20 on that initiative. So
Okay.
I'm going to re-roll that. If you would please add that to the turn tracker.
Okay. I think I do this and that.
So Bellatrix, if you roll again, he can go modify it probably easier than he can add it.
Okay.
Mm,
Then I shall do that because I got a 22 and I'm like, I ain't re-rolling that. That's amazing.
I only see my initiative. I don't see anybody else's.
What was it? It was a
22 with modifiers.
Yep.
well, okay.
And my initial one was a 15, if you don't mind. Actually, I think I can fix it. Screw it, I fixed it. There you
All right.
Yeah, let's fight.
Ruth, why does it say advantage? Do you get advantage?
I don't know. I was just looking at D&D Beyond trying to figure that out.
Do you have your rolls set to always roll twice or always roll with advantage?
Always roll with advantage, but the initiative is working differently though.
Yeah, because it definitely rolled an 18 and 10 and took your 18 plus 1.12.
Yeah, that's the tiebreaker.
Mhm.
Because with your other rolls, it definitely looks like you're rolling with advantage. So maybe turn it to always roll twice and see if it changes.
That place a token? No, it didn't. Oh, yeah, it did.
There you go. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I deselected my token so it wouldn't mess with the tracker then.
Nice.
Do.
Joe, is this a humanoid, an actual human, or
He is an actual human.
okay, not some other race?
No, actual, just plain old everyday.
Boop-a-doop boop.
Okay. So, do we have everybody's magic numbers here?
I
Mhm.
think so.
I do not see a assistant.
Oh,
Did you roll initiative?
I did, but maybe I wasn't clicked on my token when I did it. I don't know what I would have been clicked on had I not.
Well, you can click without doing that. I see yours. So just roll an initiative and we can fix it.
Cool.
Yeah. So go to your 7. Wait, did you have your token selected when you did it?
I did.
Okay, then it should be over here. There she is. Yeah, scroll down, and you can make it a your your first roll, which was a 15 as well. Okay. What's your dex?
That.
Love the mood
I beat you.
music.
I'll make mine 15.5. All right. There we go.
Okay. Top of the round. Bellatrax, you are up. Your comrade Varuuk has accosted a man who was leaving the Luskan Arms. He has shoved him down, and he now is he's got him. Varuuk has him by the leg, and he's dragging him towards the bar. What do you do?
Joe, can you sort top down the initiative? I think for some reason I'm at the bottom, even though I have a 15.14. Thank you.
I am going to what am I gonna do? I am going to hold action, and I'm going to hold action. I'm gonna have a spell ready to go, where if I see this humanoid person act aggressively towards any of my party, I will throw this spell at him.
What spell is it?
Create bonfire, and it will be in the 5-foot span of his head.
Not inside.
Oh, okay.
Water. Okay.
Very,
That is
very
very
good.
on brand for Bellatrax.
Right?
Yeah.
That seems fine. Okay. So we'll go with this guy, and he is going to attempt to. I'm just gonna. Varuuk, we're going to treat this like a grapple, and he will attempt a contested strength thing, and he tries to shake out and he starts screaming, I don't know who you are, but you had better let me go. North. And he struggles, but he's you could tell he is reaching for a weapon of some sort.
At
And
this point, I'm just holding him up by his leg.
and he produces a short sword, and he's going to try and take a swing-a-ring at you. And he's going to do that, and he's going to roll a 16.
Does he do it with a disadvantage since he's laying on his back?
Oh, technically, I guess maybe.
Doesn't matter. He doesn't hit me.
Huh?
He doesn't hit me either way.
Okay. So he swings a short sword at you. The bonfire appears around his head, and he is super not pleased with that. And he yells as he is engulfed in flames about his head. He's tried a thing. He has yelled. Varuuk, what shall you do?
So I'm gonna drag him. If you'll move the token over with me,
Yep.
next to Tax.
You want
hold
him here or here?
the first spot,
There. Okay.
and I'll hold him up. I'll use my action to pick him up, hold his leg up in the air with him upside down, and say, "Shut up, puny man! Apologize."
Give me intimidation with advantage. Oh, you can tell he just kind of goes limp, and he goes, all right, look, okay. He goes, Miss, my lady, I am sorry for violating your private space.
She looks around her area and it's just like, thank you. And she will look at Sandalphon and be like, Sandalphon, and go, Dolph, what is the customary personal space?
He was eavesdropping. That's impolite.
Thank you.
That was the end of my turn, by the way.
Okay. Dalen?
I run forward to the edge of the room, hold up my hands, and cast control flames and extinguish. Actually, I can't. I just realized I can't. Those are magical flames. I can only extinguish non-magical flames. So I just pick
Okay,
up
no. Create bonfire
Is a bonfire.
creates the bonfire. After that, it becomes normal fire.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I will.
Its purpose is it's a fire starter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to go look at the spell for sure.
I
on
believe
that.
he's correct, but
It's
Well, let's just say for right now it does it. I just make the fire go away.
okay. The fire goes out. Make a perception check.
Oh, I don't have it synced up. Hang on. Perception check is here, right here. 17.
You hear some muffled, like scrambling around, and the sound of a door opening upstairs, up the stairway.
We could say for narrative purposes, this continues, but it is a magical bonfire. That's what I thought.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a magical bonfire that was moved and went out. So
Yeah. Okay.
fair enough. Is that your turn?
Actually, no. I'm going to move to right here.
Okay. Sistan Song Sayer, you are up. Next on deck is Dolph.
I'm going to point at the guy and trying to find it. Oh, here we are. And cast and say, what did you say, Don?
I know why it's not working.
Let's see, did it? Yes, it came in. So I'm going to say, apologize to the guy.
What is your DC?
14.
14. He kind of looks at you and he's like, I've already apologized.
Please.
And the bonfire fills the cube. The bonfire was done. Okay, nope, it was done right there. So yeah, technically, that would be a cube on fire, burninating. But we'll say for narrative purposes,
It's about right there, right?
it is gone. Well, it would be no. She cast that when he took an aggressive action, which was swinging a short sword.
But I thought that's about where they were, and then he drug him out of it.
No, he drug him over here. No, wait, you're right. Yes, the
Yes.
bonfire would be right there.
Yeah.
Yep. The bonfire doesn't follow you. So anything else, Siston?
I'm gonna try to do my best. That was an action, so any kind of action I have to put out some flames, because I do not like ends that go up in flames.
Well, if you wish, you can move
Yeah.
over there closer to where they are, but for narrative purposes, we're saying the flames are out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm stamping out, making sure there's no.
If nothing else, you just put it out. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Dolph.
Quick thing, can you advance the turn order so we can see whose turn it is and things like that? But I'm going to get kind of close to him and I'm going to say, if you do anything that puts her, and I point at Tax, his life in danger or her quality of life in danger, I will rip you apart bone by bone and make sure you are alive for all that I can for every bone I take out of you.
You going for intimidation? What are you trying to do?
Yep. And I roll a 9. But if I have advantage 23, what does inspiration do?
Inspiration lets you re-roll.
Oh, the inspiration dice from.
So there's regular inspiration is a re-roll. Right? Am I right? I'm right. Right? Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll. 12.
All righty. Well, let's see. What is that? Charisma? Yeah.
Allie, you hear Varuuk just kind of chuckle and then like reach his fist out for fist bump.
So what are you trying to convince him to do?
Oh, I'm just trying to make sure he never does anything to put Tax's life in danger ever again.
He's like
telling
I
on her-
already apologized, people. I don't know what you want me to do.
I understand you apologize. I'm making insurances of the future. End of my turn.
Okay, we're gonna bounce it up here, and
Bella
I
is gonna
have some
hop
things
down.
to do.
And then Joe, real quick, if I'm not mistaken, you said that I saw the speaker go up and he went up these stairs right here.
Let me get back on that map. The speaker went up those stairs. Yes.
So I'm going to take a rope out of my bag and I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to cast snare on it.
Okay. All right. Well,
So I'm just like getting out rope and they're like yelling at each other. And I'm just like, do.
right? You're just like, hey, hold on. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I don't know why everybody's upset.
And then I'm going to move over here and like, wait.
Okay.
And you know that rope turns into an invisible trap.
I have no idea what it does, but okay.
Okay.
I need a brief pause for
So I will send it here. This is what it does. And then what I rolled is what will happen if it's triggered. I apologize, I rolled it too soon.
no worries, no worries. It's a little bitty. That's funny. Okay. Where'd you go? Okay. Snare. We have some snare action going on, I take it?
Yep.
Yep, snare action. What does it do? Dex save of 13.
I wrote it all down. Essentially, they have to make an investigation check in order to not to see it. And then a dex save check to avoid being trapped by it.
Very good.
And it happens again and again to anyone who steps in that square.
Okay. Well, you guys hear some footfalls and someone begins to come down the stairs, but you will he actually has a really crappy initiative roll. So there we go. Okay. So this guy is going to once again attempt to break the grapple with a so he is still restrained, and he goes, look man, he like drops his short sword, and he's like, just can we talk about this? I've already apologized. I don't know what else you want me to do. Narth is going to come down here and things are going to get real messed up real quick. So please let me go. Varuuk?
Dolph, what do you think we should do with this puny man? I kind of I shake him a little bit.
Lord.
I think we let him go with the knowledge that if he does anything to hurt one of us, we will kill him in the most gruesome ways.
kind of just I hoist him up just a little bit to where I could basically talk to his face upside down.
Okay.
Don't let me catch you doing Mog again. And I just drop him.
Alrighty. He drops. He remains he drops. Dalen.
I'm going to basically, I assume where I am that this is a wall.
It is.
So I'm gonna just kind of step up a little bit and take a look around. But
Well, you're gonna have to get down here, but to look around, you can see the wall right there.
so if I go here, can I see into the room? Is that kind of like a open area, or is this a totally? Am I upstairs in a different room up
Yeah,
here?
you're like on a half level.
Yeah, you're on a platform.
But this is open. I can see this direction, right?
I mean, you can see out into the tavern.
Cool. That's all I want to do. Yeah.
Right here. This is a wall.
Yeah. So I can't see Tax, but I can see.
You can see Varuuk. You can
Yeah.
see
Okay.
you can see the guy here.
I'm gonna move to right. Whoops, wrong button. What the? I think I accidentally deleted me off the board. Hang on.
Why would you do that?
I can't bring myself back. Oh wait, you might need to give me a.
There you go. Now there are two of you.
Yeah, get rid of one of me and give the other one vision again. Sorry about that. I don't know which one you gave vision there. Okay, good deal. I'm gonna just move over to here so I can still kind of see in the room, but have some cover.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't really even have a real action to hold.
What was your initiative? If you could roll
Oh,
it.
50.5. I'll put it back.
Okay. Okay. Sistine Song Sayer.
Sister's gonna walk over to the door, open it, and then say to the person again, leave, or actually run.
Just trying that over and over, huh? Just keep doing it till it does it.
Well, I want him to go before the other guy gets here. So yes.
He is in a heap, and he is paying your words no mind.
Oh,
Okay. Anything else?
let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll get over here and just say, he's so drunk.
No, don't you step there?
Oh, what?
That's where the trap is.
Oh, well, if I was seeing you, I will get to the bottom of the stair because I assume that you're there. He's just so drunk, but I'm going to be trying to block the point of view of anybody coming down the stairs. They should throw him out.
So
That's a performance check. I'm playing.
that is performance or deception.
Probably deception.
Yeah. Okay. So is that all you got?
That's it.
Okay. So a man appears in the stairway. He makes it to here. He looks out over the tavern and he just shouts, "Enough! Stop what you're doing and stop interrupting my business." And he glares at each of you like, "What are you going to do?"
And I'm giving him a look like, yeah, I know. Can you believe these people? The rabble.
Right?
I look at him in confusion and I go, Excuse me, sir. I don't mean to be rude, but I just believe that I'm standing here. How am I interrupting your business?
And he just glares at you like, don't. You've had a bar brawl in the tavern where the speaker lives. and he's definitely not used to foolishness, and he's probably trying to figure out how to get all of your names on a lottery somewhere. So
to be fair,
the fire
consider business isn't making noise where you live. Like, to me, doing business is merchanting. So I'm not asking to be dumb. I am asking, like, in a super matter-of-fact way, like, how am I interrupting your business? It is sincere. And
so are we going to drop out of initiative, or are we going to keep fighting? Because we can keep fighting. And I want you to all make a wisdom save with advantage. Here, I'll go ahead and tell you, you've all passed it. And I will let you know that if you pursue fighting this guy, it is not going to end well. Not because of him necessarily.
Because we're in his town.
Because and if Iggy were here, Iggy could tell you that this guy's best friend is the captain of the militia, and they can bring 200 veterans into this place to restrain you and probably sacrifice you to Arl. So here's a decision-making little nexus point here. Do you wish to keep fighting, or do you wish to have a conversation with Speaker Narth?
it was never my intention to fight.
You cast
And
fire
then-
on someone's head.
Right, as he's waiting for you, he looks down at the embarrassing puddle of manhood that is, kind of draining across the floor in a smell of shame. And he says, "Shadowfucks, what are you doing on the floor?" He says, "When have I ever told you to engage in a fight where we work?" And that will be his turn.
And when he says that this is where he works instead of where he lives, I will say, I am sorry. I did not know that this was a place of business beyond an inn and a bar. I do apologize for any inconvenience. And then I will go to the trap and unset it,
Okay.
which needs an Arcana check.
Okay.
A
Somehow or
couple
the other-
times to Arcana myself out of this.
Okay. So, Dolph.
Lisa, you could probably dispel it at will without an Arcana check.
I will hold my action.
That was a great check.
Let me wait. Yeah, I'm going to basically hold my action until somebody acts intends harm on one of my friends. And then I will hit somebody with my sword. But I'm holding that action.
Okay. We loop back around to Bellatax.
That's what I'm doing. I
Okay.
apologize and I undo my trap and I go, I'm so sorry. It was never my intention to fight. He swung I'm just like tattling and telling him exactly what happened. He swung a sword at my friend, and then I burnt his head because he swung a sword at my friend. And then he was yelling upstairs. And so I figured people were coming from upstairs and I didn't want anyone to hurt us. So I put this here. But I did not know this was your place of business. That is terribly rude of me. I very respect commerce. And I'm like picking up the trap.
Right. You're like, no, really, I didn't mean to do this. I'm very, very sorry. and he gives you
Not groveling, just matter of fact. Like
right. He gives you a very oily smile.
You.
And Shadowfox stands up, kind of like cautiously looking at Varuuk, like almost asking for your permission to stand up. Are you gonna like knock him back down?
Is it my turn?
Well, I just said he's going to try and stand up. Are you going to try and knock him back down?
Not immediately, no.
Okay, he kind of stands up and he goes, Nerith, I think I paused. I maybe like was listening in on the conversation when I shouldn't have been. And this he kind of looks back up at you again, like like a normal person staring up a redwood. You know, it's kind of like this gentleman here brought my indiscretion to my attention, and I have again. He looks over at Taxi, goes, again, my lady, I am very sorry. And he looks at Ruth and he goes, and I am also very sorry for any inconvenience that I may have caused you. And I do hope you can forgive me. And that's all he's going to do. Varuuk.
I go over to the bar, sit down, and order an ale.
All right, we dropping out of initiative.
Yes.
Okay. So we drop out of initiative, and Speaker Nerith goes, "Come here," to Shadowfax. Shadowfax walks over to him, and as soon as he gets within arm reach, he just backhands the fuck out of this guy. Bam! And he's like, "Don't draw attention to where I work and where I make plans and where I lead this town. You have a task to do, if I'm not mistaken." And he goes, yes, sir, I do. He goes, "Then perhaps you should be about it." And he goes, "I expect you to be done in no more than an hour." And he just throws his hand up and he says, "Now." And Shadowfox here scampers the fuck out the door.
Yeah.
And he is he takes off. He's out of there. And Speaker Nerith kind of looks around at all of you and he goes, I do apologize for the poor behavior of my man. Now, are we good? Are
look at him.
we good, or must we discuss this further?
I will look at him and I go, "I am perfectly satisfied. I do have one question, sir, and I do apologize if it's inappropriate."
He looks down at you and he says, "And what would that be?"
I would like to find the caravan of Torga Icebane, and I heard it went. And I like tell him where
And I say, oh, friend, this is an important man. He's not one to stop to ask directions. We are so sorry to have disturbed your work.
And he holds a hand up and he goes, "Oh, I can tell you where that little piece of trash went. Yeah, she was
Thanks.
here. She was camped just outside of town, interfering with my legitimate business. I believe she said they were going to Tourmaline."
Thank you. That is what I assumed. I do apologize for any interruption of business. I understand the importance of commerce, as I too am a businesswoman. Well, up and coming businesswoman.
And he kind of looks at you and he says, Do I detect a hint of Luskin in your accent?
Outside of Luskin, actually.
Yes, I'm from that area myself. And now that he's not yelling, you recognize, it's not like a heavy, like a Southern drawl, but it's a few words said a specific way, mannerisms. You recognize this person as being from Luskin. Does anyone here Dolph, Siston, and Dallin, give me insight or wisdom save or intelligence save, whichever one will work. Okay.
No, not good.
Dolph, you have no idea where this person is, who this person is.
Just for funsies, I'm gonna roll one of the other ones to see how bad I roll.
Oh. Fail a wisdom save, lose the party. So you both having now, Dallin, you are not from Luskin, correct?
I'm from just south, so I've been to Luskin. Yeah.
So you are not familiar with this guy's name. And Siston, there's something about him that tickles memories of dealings that your clan had with, we'll call them an organization around Luskin. And these people were affiliated with some less than savory operations. You're not 100% sure, but you picked up on some words, the way he phrased some things, like, and there's just something about it that, like, it tickles your spidey sense. You're like, I think this guy might be like connected with the crime family or something. I don't know what it is. Like you can't place it exactly, but you recognize you picked up the scent, I guess would be a good way to put it.
So, question, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
It is Tax's intent, because she knows no fear really, to continue to talk to him. And to be completely honest, like she's about to go into where she's from and if he's ever worked with her family, and her family or her tribe would absolutely deal to a crime family with no problem. Like they're just about merchandising of their tinkering.
Okay, I'll give you the same option. Intelligence. Did you make one? No, you didn't.
I did not.
Either intelligence save, insight, wisdom save. History, maybe. It just so happens you guys are from the right place.
Just so you guys know, I don't have second rounds until 12:30, so I'm good for a while.
But I imagine we are wrapping up now.
We will be.
So I got the same. I got a 24 on intelligence.
Bell attacks, one word swims up in your subconscious, and that is the Zentarum.
Centarum, you said?
Zentarum, Zentarim.
Okay.
Like you recognize, again, it's a manner of speaking, almost like you speaking in a code. The Zentarum have something they call the Black Network, and the Black Network is like black market, shady trade. Like they tend to move into an area and sort of they're not the brawn and muscle. They are definitely more of the cloak and dagger. They are ruthless, and they kind of spread out like Hydra, and kind of infiltrate, and they are insidious, and they if they are there doing business, then you can bet he is not the only one. And in fact, the person that he just sent out scampering was probably a spy or an operative for the Zentarum. Am I saying that right? Anybody else? Faerun.
Zentarum. I've always said Zentarum.
Okay.
Don approves of Zentarum.
Chris, Zentarum?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just say you're aware of that. That word swims up into your mind, and with that word comes associations. You've never, okay, to be clear, you have never had interactions with this person. You don't remember him. You don't know if that's his real name. Pseudonyms are very often used, but you recognize the manner.
Excellent.
So,
And I would be like, yes.
And let's get to bed. This is not a time to be out. Can we buy you a drink for the trouble?
and he looks at you and he goes, well, and he takes a step down to the ground floor, gets beside you, and he says, and you can feel his eyes appraising you, and it's just not great, right?
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, and he goes, I see you are a lady of some bearing and taste about you. Yes, I'll have that drink.
Not a lady.
Yeah. And Tax will say, gender is always assumed and
I'll just pat her and I'll say, oh, it drinks. Thank you so much for your company.
And the only reason I said that is because earlier tonight, Laura said she looked more feminine than you have seen her look.
Totally get it. I also kind of want to know what his reaction to me is, considering that gendering of Laura's character, of like when Sandalphon says "not a lady," I'm guessing he would look over. Does he have any sort of reaction to them?
Make an insight check.
Oh God, she's bad at those. That is not their strong suit. 7.
If he does, you don't notice it.
Cool.
And now understand, this is a man very used to having to wearing a mask that you see what he wants you to see. And so he orders a drink and Owen, serves you whatever drink. There's not even a mention of a cost. He just sets them down and backs away. And so if you wish to chit chat, we can chit chat.
Just mainly thanking him for his understanding and wondering, you noticed that I have an instrument, and I wondered if this was in fact the best place to play in a place like this. But seeing you here, I recognize that this is probably the more upscale clientele that you'd have in your town. Your town, correct? You
and
are.
he just kind of laughs and he says, "Oh, upscale and Targos don't generally belong in the same sentence together. But yes, this place reminds me of home. And sometimes even a memory or a hint of something familiar is enough for you to overlook its shortcomings." And then he looks past you at Varuuk and he goes, "What about you? You put one of my best men on the ground with apparent ease. What are you perhaps interested in putting those skills to work?" And just kind of smiles at you.
I don't know if I want to work for you. If that man that works for you is a measure of you, then you reek of moth.
Well, I don't know what moth is, but if it's the smell of success and money, perhaps. But it says, but let's just say, if you ever find yourself needing employment, Shadowfuck's there is definitely not what I would consider to be the finest example of those in my employ. And he just kind of smiles and nods at you. He finishes his drink and he says, "I never got your name," looking at you, Siston.
And I'll say Siston.
He takes your hand and nods and he says, "I am Speaker Nerith." Like, I can't read the text on the thing. I'm Speaker Nerith Maxildanar. Maxildanar. It was a pleasure meeting you. Let's have a quiet evening. I must return to my work. And unless anyone stops him, he will scamper back upstairs.
Tax would like a word with Owen before they go upstairs.
Okay. He comes over to you. And
Go ahead.
he is still shaking.
Okay. I will apologize, and then I will also ask if he has any spare wood out back or around, because I would like to fix the damage to the floor that I did.
He says, "You obviously have not been here long. Wood is one of the most scarce, precious things. I would never use something that could make warmth and feed me and my family and my customers fixing a hole in the floor. We'll figure something else out, but wood is too precious for that."
What other spare materials do you have? I can fix it with many things.
He says, "I know you mean well. There's been enough excitement. Please go to your room. And in the morning, if you wish, we will serve you a meal. And then please leave." And he turns around and he goes through a door into this room in the back, and that's that. And these people have all kind of moved over here, and they are kind of, looks like they're getting ready to go. If you wish, you can turn in now and go upstairs. You want to go over there with the others in that seat?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Tax will jump down, and you will see her shoulder slump and look down like she messed up, and then go, okay, and then like go up to her room.
Okay. From there, you go up to your rooms. If I need to, I can put tokens in rooms. I don't think it will matter.
Is this where we're gonna call it tonight?
I do believe this is where we're going to call it. And we're going
Okay.
to set out to, do the thing you told a guy you were going to do, trying to save his husband,
Yeah.
but you had to
Joe,
stay in. Stay in.
I seem to remember somebody asking for somebody's head. Who was that? Who was both of those people? The person whose head we want to decapitate and the person who wants the head?
Sepik
Mhm.
and Hiln Trollbane wishes him to face justice without the knowledge or intervention of the speakers, if you believe him to be guilty of the murders.
Got it. Not the speaker himself.
Hmm?
Not the speaker himself. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Suspect is with Trog, the ice vein person that I keep asking about.
Yes. Torga's caravan. And her name is Torga Icevein, because those words sound good together.
Joe, I updated the calendar that we are finishing out is today. I've set the season 1, episode 2 end date for the 5th of is today as well.
That is correct. We have made it through a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so I will stop the. I believe this is a good stopping point.
Sounds good.
Mhm.